Viewers, this year during the annual India Day parade in New York, Indian pride was on full display with thousands turning out wearing the devotion for the country on their sleeves. Stealing the show was a float in the parade depicting the grand Ram Mandir. The replica was decorated with garlands and members of the Indian diaspora dressed in traditional attire, holding the tricolour in their hands, danced as a mark of celebration. However, this was called anti-Muslim, divisive, bigoted, and one that sows seeds of hate and divisiveness. The question now is, how can a symbol of Astha of billions, and not just in India but across the world, even in Muslim majority nations like Indonesia, be anti-Muslim? And is this not infringement of right to practice religion for Hindus? And to speak more plainly and clearly, what is this if not Hindumesia, carefully couched behind quest for peace and harmony? Let's open this up. Dushyant Sridhar, Vedic scholar, Rashmi Sawant, activist, Advocate Tala Rashidi, spokesperson of the Rashtriya Ulema Council, Atikur Rahman completes the panel. Dushyant Sridhar, you can see the pictures, and I'm sure you are aware of what was said about the float of Ram Mandir, that this is anti-Muslim.
Namaskaram, Pranesh, and namaskaram to my fellow panelists. Before I put forth my points, I would just like to read a shloka in Sanskritam. It says, Ahalya pashanaha prakriti pashurasi kapichamur guho bhus chandalas tritayamapi neetam nijapadam aham cheto nashmaha pashurapi tavarchadi karane kriyabhis chandalo raghuvara namam uddharasikim. So the poet says that Rama, you've been extremely merciful and graceful towards the Vanara Sainyam, to Ahalya, and to Guha. Please show some grace on me as well. You know who wrote this, Pranesh? In the 16th century, Abdul Rahim Khan, who lived in the north of India, wrote this beautiful couplet in Sanskritam describing the grace of Rama. And when we look at the oldest manuscript of Ramayana transcreation outside India, it comes from today, Indonesia, which is a largely Islamic populated country. It comes called Kakavin Ramayana of the 9th century.
That's right.
And in the 16th century, Akbar had commissioned a project with Badayun stating that Ramayana should be done in Persian, and in 4 years it was translated in Persian. I've started getting the feeling, Pranesh, that compared to the people today, even people in the past of the Muslim community were very accepting and secular. Given the state that we are in today, a beautiful icon, which is a Rama Mandir, after Rama Prana Pratishtha, when Rama Mandir has been placed, shouldn't it be a matter of pride for every Indian and every person who's living outside India? I don't know, why should there be when is this enmity going to end?
Atikur Rahman, when will this end? And how is this anti-Muslim in any case?
Regards to Mr. Dushyant, I have no objection. I wish you had been on the panel post, the Babri Masjid verdict, and you explaining the people how we, the Muslims, love Lord Ram. Pranesh, the question is, the India Day celebration is not a religious event. It's a national event of Indians. And that's why we object. Why only a Rama Mandir? There should have been the temples from the south, the Taj Mahal, the Sufi saints, Ajmer Dargah over there, because it's a national pride. The day is not a religious day. That's why, Mr. Sridhar, we are objecting to it. Second important point is, Pranesh, we as Muslims, we have accepted the Ram temple.
No. The second point is not important. We will come to it first. 1 minute. Let's settle the first point first.
Sure.
Rashmi Sawant, respond to what Atikur Rahman is saying.
Well, firstly, I'd like to, state that the American Hindu community is an extremely contributing, successful and, gainfully employed community. But there have been repeated efforts to quash their civil liberties. And this is not something that has happened recently. Historically, especially in the New York, New Jersey region, the Hindu community has been persecuted for its identity. I think the historic dotbusters, it is something that we all know about. Hindu men and women, their heads were smashed because they would wear a tilak or a bindi. So we come from this sort of history of persecution. So when we talk of this from this sort of contextual manner, then the sort of narrative which is being spun around displaying one Ram Mandir at the tableau is extremely problematic. It seeks to paint a target on the Hindu community, which is nothing but peaceful, which has nothing but, contributed to the diaspora there. And we're talking about American Hindus here. I think they have the liberty to flaunt their identity. And to celebrate the sort of cultural roots of what they practice in this day and age in America. So I think that, that is something that they need to have the liberty of. And the fact that there's an attack on their civil liberties, not now, but historically, is extremely problematic, especially given their history and standing in society, which is extremely good. It is, gainful employment.
Right.
It is, following all the rules and regulations.
Okay. Dushyant Sridhar.
Very quick, two questions. Atik ji said that this is a national event. It commemorates the nation. Why should it be treated as a religious event? I just have two comments to make. He's too elder to me, so I can't question. In Sanatana culture, we generally respect elderly people. So one question is, he says it's a national event. Then why are there so many divisive statements that were made in the present and in the past against the national song singing? So if Vande Mataram is the national song, there have been many statements made by organizations that national song cannot be sung because we are not allowed in the community. So if the word is nation, and if it feels that it should not have any religious connotation, then why was national song denied? One. Second question, if they believe that divisiveness should never be a part of it, then since independence for over 60 to 70 years, one of the prime roads in Delhi was named after Aurangzeb, and he was a bigot, and there are plenty of statements that state how anti-Hindu he was. Then why was there no Muslim organization protesting, stating that you should not have a bigot's name on the road? At that point in time, there was no protest. When national song is being ridiculed or saying that it will not be sung, there's no question. Suddenly, when there is a tableau placed, now comes the question of nationality and patriotism, and it should be away from religion.
Advocate Tala Rashidi is all smiles. Either he agrees with you completely, or I don't know what the response will be.
When one of the panelists is playing a
card here that the Hindus are being persecuted in US as well also, and then directly comes
upon us. Now the other one again involved into this. So this is the intellect of the panel sitting out here, which is simply a joke to me, and that is the reason why I was smiling. Because now you are bringing in Aurangzeb here. The only question out here is that it was an India Day parade that was being celebrated, that was being organized to celebrate, to propagate, to highlight the achievements of India, which is a democratic country, world's largest democracy, which is a country known to the world for its rich heritage, for its Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, for its secular stature, for its culture and diversity, unity in diversity. Now, why do you want to paint it as a religious event? Why do you want to highlight or give center stage to Ram Mandir, which is already a very controversial topic?
No, what is controversial about it?
No,
what is controversial about it?
Let me conclude. Let me complete. Now, I only put forward a simple demand. If we can have a structure of a replica of Ram Mandir in that India Day parade, would you have any objection if I say that a replica of Babri Masjid should also have been there? Do you have any problem in that? You should have. Then we should also have a replica of Babri Masjid in that parade.
You are not answering the question. How is the replica of Ram Mandir anti-Muslim?
Answer my question. Why would the panel have any problem if I say that we should also have a replica of Babri Masjid?
But we don't have the panel head, Dushyant Sridhar. Dushyant Sridhar, would you have a problem with the Babri float?
It was a national event, not a communal event.
No, you can have a Babri float. No, I'll tell you. Dushyant will answer, he'll answer what he has to say. You can have a Babri float, either ahead or behind the mandir. But you can't have a Babri float on top of the mandir. Dushyant Sridhar.
No one is saying to have it on top of the mandir.
With due respects, with some little knowledge in history and architecture, I can say that there shouldn't be a problem when a tableau of Babri Masjid is placed, because that was demolished. Agreed. So alongside, there should be replicas of about at least selected 10 temples out of the 40,000 temples that were demolished in the last 800 years. So all these demolished structures, those temples that were demolished in the Islamic regime, should also be placed along, so that it gets together under one category called demolished.
No, but he says the India Day, the soul of his argument is that the India Day parade is about Tiranga nationalism. I want to ask you, Tala Rashidi, should every madrasa have a national flag? Should the students be asked to chant Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Vande Mataram?
Why Bharat Mata Ki Jai is a national nara or what? Vande Mataram is a national song.
अभी तो आप बोल रहे थे तिरंगा नेशनलिज्म के बारे में बोल रहे थे.
Vande Mataram does not have any constitutional
अभी आप बोल रहे थे. अभी देखिए गुस्सा हो रहे हैं.
Be proud, sir. I'm not getting angry. मैं बोल रहा हूँ आपसे कि हम बहुत फख्र से हर मदरसे में आप जाके देखिए और हम आजादी के दिन से करते आ रहे हैं.
वंदे मातरम से क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
आरएसएस ने 50
अभी आरएसएस कहाँ से आ गया? Now you are talking about India Day parade, nationalism, Tiranga. You stand exposed, Tala Rashidi. You stand exposed, Rashmi Sawant. Is that too much to ask?
Pranesh, I think you're absolutely right. So there's a clear line of hypocrisy as to what is acceptable along the lines of nationalism and what is not. When it comes to madrasas and other places of, worship for other faiths, they're very reticent to, display signs of nationalism. Not only that much, there was a member of parliament who came all the way to parliament and he's in the past refused to say Vande Mataram and Bharat Mata Ki Jai, but he was comfortable enough to say.
There are many. Did you see the tone in which he was ridiculing it? Advocate Tala Rashidi, so much for your, love for Tiranga and India Day parade and whatever else you said. I thank all of you. I don't have time, Tala Rashidi. The more you speak, the more you are exposing yourself. I thank all of you for joining us on India Upfront, viewers. The news are coming up with Navika Kumar on the other side.